Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quad Cities Chambers update. I'm sorry, one second, there we go. Quad Cities Chamber update on the Business Interruption Grant program featuring Adrian Madunic from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The Quad Cities Chamber understands the current status of COVID is making it difficult for your business to survive and thrive. As your go-to business resources, we're here to help you gain access to financial resources, business intelligence, and promotions. We're also advocating for you on the local, state, and federal level. Members of our team are available to you, so please reach out to me if you need help with anything, and we'll get you connected to the right resources. So let's get started. Before I introduce our speaker, I want to remind you, if you have any questions that come up because of the content today that Adrian's going to be presenting, please pop those into the Q&A box. We're gonna have time at the end to answer some of your questions. Okay, so let me introduce Adrian Madunic, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Adrian is the Northwest Region Manager for the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, which we call DCEO. The Northwest region consists of Joe Davies, Carroll, Whiteside, Lee, LaSalle, Bureau, Putnam, Henry, Mercer, and Rock Island counties. Adrian is a native Quad citizen and currently resides in East Moline. He graduated from Blackhawk College and Augustana College. And now I'd like to turn over to Adrian for our presentation. Adrian?
Thank you, Janelle. I would like to thank the Quad Cities Chamber for partnering with the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity on this webinar. I'd like to thank Janelle, Terry Smith, and Marcy Hyder for all of their assistance. And I would like to encourage all Quad City area businesses to not just become a member of the chamber. It's not about the chamber sticker that you have on the door of your business necessarily, as it is asking them for assistance, asking them for their advice, and also engaging with them and offering your assistance. I never knew a business owner that didn't like to talk about their business, share best practices, share what works, what didn't work, and the chamber is a great, not just advocate, but avenue for businesses to get engaged, to improve their business, and to help their fellow community and fellow businesses in the community. So thank you again to the Quad Cities Chamber and their leadership, and we'll get rolling. So there's a lot of information on these slides, and the Chamber will be sharing the slide deck with you. And also, I'm here locally. I work for the Department of Commerce, DCEO, but I'm here local. So if you have any questions on the big grant or any other small business resources, as well as calling the chamber, call me. My cell phone number will be at the end of the slide program. It's a 217 Springfield, Central Illinois area code, but like I said, I'm here locally and more than happy to help. Today, we're going to be talking about the Business Interruption Grant, the BIG program, and round 2. Round 1 was earlier in the year, in June, and those awards were given out in August. So we're talking about round 2. Now, this is a grant. This is not a loan or a low interest loan. This is not a tax credit. These are funds that if you are awarded, you do not have to give the funds back. You don't have to give them back. You don't have to pay them back. You just have to follow the guidelines. So again, this is not a loan. This is not a tax credit. This is not necessarily an incentive. This is a straightforward grant. And there's about 70% of the total funds still available. We're on big grant program round 2. Because of the pandemic, Governor Pritzker and the Illinois General Assembly, your legislators, established a big program to provide relief to small businesses hit hard by the pandemic. So this is a new program. This is because of the pandemic and what it did to our local businesses. This wasn't in existence a year ago or 5 years ago. This is something new. So $540 million are available to be awarded in funding rounds to small businesses to reimburse costs incurred due to COVID. $270 million specifically for childcare and early learning providers. $49 million in grants were awarded to 2,800 businesses in round one. That was, the applications began in late May and ran through June, and the awards were made in August. Round one focused on restaurants, personal services such as salons, barbershops, gyms, fitness centers, and businesses in severely disproportionately impacted areas. And we'll talk about those areas later. $200 million of the remaining funds will be available to all small businesses statewide that experience losses due to the pandemic. So this is for businesses adversely affected by the pandemic. So you've had a decrease in revenue, or you've had no revenue, or you've had expenses that are outside of the realm of your normal expenses. You had to put plastic shielding up in your business. You had to put signage up. You had to have extra hours, okay? More than half of the funds of the $200 million that's remaining are for downstate communities, and I believe everybody on this call is from what we call downstate. 70 million of this will be earmarked for disproportionately impacted areas. There's a link on our website for the DIA's disproportionately impacted areas. There's also a link on this slide deck. So if your business is from the Quad Cities, most of the city of Silvis is in a disproportionately impacted area. Most of the city of Rock Island and most of the village of Milan are in DIAs. Okay, so that will give you, your business a priority. You'll move up on the priority level of getting the award. Okay, our grant administrator is a third-party agency called Accion. And the reason for this is so far we've had close to 30,000 applicants, and our agency just isn't big enough to process all these. So Accion is partnering with us on this. They're the ones that do the intake of the applications, the processing, the notifying of people who are missing something from their application or something that needs to be spelled out a little bit better. And they're the ones that will notify those who get awarded the grant and those who do not get awarded the grant. As we look at round two, this is the second round, we'll see, if we look at the state map, you'll see Rock Island and Henry County in a darker shade. And you'll also see several other urban areas throughout the state. Peoria, the Chicagoland area, Rockford, the Metro East. Those are communities that have received more big grant awards, and mostly because there's a bigger population, there are more businesses there. So, but in my view, I don't think, being from the Quad Cities, I don't think we've had enough businesses that have taken advantage of this program. 4,000 individual grants have been given out so far in round one, and in the beginning of round two on Monday, this past Monday, businesses were notified that received funding in round two. Round two is not finished yet. So up to date, 95 million has been granted out, 4,000 individual grants located in 469 different cities in Illinois and in 89 of Illinois' 102 counties. There's about $175 million remaining in big round two. So that's most of the funding that's still available, and we strongly encourage everybody to apply. An example of the big grants, round 1 and round 2, that have been awarded thus far. You can see over 46 million have been for restaurants and taverns that were severely impacted by the COVID pandemic. You can also see other industries that were severely impacted: gyms and fitness centers, indoor recreation venues, event spaces, concerts, and performing art venues. Eligibility factors and key priorities. Eligible businesses include for-profit and nonprofit entities with $20 million or less in annual revenue in 2019 and experienced losses due to COVID-19. The grant size will be calculated based on revenue losses and expenses over the last 2 months and will range from $5,000 to $150,000. So the grant sizes are from $5,000 to $150,000, given out depending upon the amount of losses, the amount of expenses, and if a business is in a severely disproportionately impacted area. Priority will be given to applicants that did not receive the federal PPP or other forms of aid from the CARES Act, such as the Small Business Administration Economic Disaster Impact Loan. Priority will be given to, again, businesses located in the DIAs. There is a map on our website and also the link on the slide deck that you can put your address in to see if you are in a DIA area. Also, priority will be given to businesses that are in more severe regional mitigation measures due to COVID. So for instance, right now, businesses in the Rockford, Galena, Freeport areas are a little bit higher priority than the Quad City area right now, but that can change depending upon the positive test cases of COVID. And also priority will be given to businesses that have less than 5 million in annual revenue. So this is truly a small business loan grant. Heavily impacted industries. 60 million will be set aside for businesses in a set of heavily distressed industries. Businesses in these industries have been closed or operating at very diminished capacity since mid-March and are likely to continue to do so until phase 5. So event spaces, music venues, indoor recreation, movie theaters, and charter and shuttle bus services would be considered heavily distressed industries. For the remaining 140 million in funds in this round, any business or nonprofit with under 20 million in annual revenue that experienced losses due to COVID may apply. For the remaining funds, the following industries that are experiencing ongoing dramatic losses industry-wide due to the economic fallout from COVID will be prioritized. So independently owned retail, restaurants and bars, fitness centers, tourism-related industries, and support services for arts and art events. Required documents. Later on, we'll kind of touch on the application itself, but these are documents that you're going to need to upload with your application. So your 2019 tax return. If you don't have a 2019 tax return and you're still running on an extension, your 2018 tax return will work. We'll show you in a later slide how to note that in your application that you're still running on an tax extension. July 2019 bank statement, August 2019 bank statement, July 2020 bank statement, August 2020 bank statement, signed W-9 form, and the business owner's ID. Some application tips. We tell people fill it out completely and carefully rather than quickly. Almost between 70 and 80% of the funds for the big program are still available. And there's no deadline. The deadline is when the funds run out. So it really doesn't make any sense to hurry through the application just to get it in before somebody else does and leave yourself open to errors. So we encourage people, take the time to ensure your application is complete and accurate in advance of submitting. Ask for assistance from the help desk. There's a link on the slide deck and on our website to do so. You can send Accion a question and they should get back to you between 24 and 48 hours with an answer. It's also a good idea to save your answers in a separate document in case you have to leave filling out the application and come back at a later point. Double check your answers prior to submitting. Don't choose a heavily impacted industry if you're not a heavily impacted industry. There's a list on the website again. Do not choose a DIA, distressed area zip code, if your business is not in that zip code or if your business is near that zip code. This will delay your application and negatively impact your consideration for a grant. Also, really important, do not use the automatic filling feature on your browser that a lot of people have. It may populate incorrect information into your application. I had a Henry County business. They had several different businesses and they were all next door to each other. And they used the auto feature and they inadvertently filled in the wrong information and their application was rejected based on that. So be very, again, you can't be careful enough in filling out the application. And as you'll see, the application isn't that bad. Remember, this is not, you're not filling out an application for a loan or a tax credit, so it's not as onerous as that is. And it should be done in a positive manner because this is a grant. These are monies you won't have to pay back. Since I'm here locally, you'll see my cell phone number on the last slide. If you have any questions, please call me, leave me a message, and I will get back to you fairly shortly. And if I don't know the answer, I will point you in the right direction for an answer. There are also resources listed on our website that you can contact for assistance if you choose to do so. But like I said, I'm here locally and I would be more than happy to help you. And also the Quad City Chamber has been following the big grant program before it was even announced, and they know quite a bit about it as well. So we are here to help and we are local, and please reach out to us. Big round 2 started accepting applications on September 17th. Again, there is no end date for this. These will be awarded and funded on a rolling basis. So again, round 2, some awards were given out on Monday. The recipients received an email, or if they used an accountant, their accountant received an email saying you were awarded a big round 2 grant. Stay tuned for when the funds will be dispersed to your bank. Again, you can submit a question to Accion, our partners. They're assisting us, or basically mainly processing the applications and contacting folks. And they will get back to you from 24 to 48 hours. If you go to the DCEO website, this is, you will see on the main page, about halfway down, you'll see the big Business Interruption Grants program page. Click on that. It'll say you can submit questions via the help desk in English or Spanish. and there'll be a link for the application. The application is done exclusively online. This is not something you print out, fill in, and then mail in. There are resources here if you have questions. The application is there in English and in Spanish. Again, for technical assistance, please give me a call or call the chamber and we will get you an answer. This is a first glance of the beginning of the application. There's instructions. There's a definition of the eligibility criteria. And as we go through the beginning of the application, you'll see business owner name, business owner email. Please make sure your email that you enter is correct. It'll ask you to confirm it, and a phone number that you can be reached at. Address, is your business for-profit or non-profit? Anything with a red asterisk obviously has to be filled out. Here's some questions. Industry, what's your industry? There's a drop-down box that you can click on and put your business in. What's the capacity of your indoor space? Now we're getting into what's your business gross operating revenue. Did you file a 2019 business tax return, yes or no? Again, have you received any of the following emergency aid? So if you have received PPP or the economic injury disaster loan, or a big in round one, you will be moved down on the priority list. But that doesn't exclude you from applying. If you received a PPP or EIDL or a big round one, you're still eligible to apply. This will show you which required documents you need. So the application itself is very user-friendly. It'll tell you again, along with the with the initial web page, what needs to be submitted, uploaded with your application. Some more slides on the application itself. It doesn't look that bad, okay? So, and then you sign it and you certify that everything is accurate to the best of your knowledge and true. And then you submit the form. And you should be getting an email from Oxyone that you have submitted your form. And then here's my contact information. Again, that's my office cell phone number for anybody that has any questions or needs some assistance in filling this out. I'll be more than happy to help. And I wish everybody the best of luck. I encourage you to apply. And I want to thank the Quad Cities Chamber again very much for partnering with us on this and being such a great resource for our Quad City businesses and our community as a whole.
Great. Adrian,
Janelle?
Thanks so much. That was very detailed and there's lots of great information in that presentation. So I appreciate you going through everything. Again, remind people if you have questions, pop them in the chat box or the question box. I just have a couple of questions while we wait and see if anyone else has any questions. Adrian, can you tell us again how much money is still available as grants?
Approximately 170 million is still available.
That's crazy. $170 million, and the Quad Cities could get a good portion of that if we all apply. Okay, how long are businesses, once you apply, how long are you seeing the turnaround time to be notified if you get it or not?
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay. And then once you're notified, what is the time to get money into your account?
With between 1 and 2 weeks.
1 and 2 weeks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So within a 2-month period, you could have money in your account from this program.
Correct.
Okay. Well, go ahead, and if you have any questions, pop them in there. I'm going to start wrapping it up for us, but we can always run back to questions if we have any. Again, I want to thank Adrian for his time. This is great information for our businesses. I do want to let you know of 2 upcoming virtual events. First is AMP Up, an inside look at 3 thriving QC businesses. This will be on Wednesday, November 18th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to hear from 3M, Twin State Technical Services, and Oh So Sweet by Tiffany. Second event is Bar and Restaurant Owners Roundtable. This will be on Friday, November 20th at 9 a.m. Facilitated by Tom Trone of SCORE Quad Cities. 3 business owners and bar owners, 3 restaurant and bar owners will be sharing their plans to combat operational challenges this fall and winter. This includes a great Q&A opportunity. If you're interested in these opportunities, you can register for them on our website, quadcitieschamber.com. And as a reminder, a recording of this program will be posted on our website later today. So it looks like we've covered everybody's questions. I appreciate everyone joining us today. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.